We won't let our finances bully us. Dapat tayo yung in control. Hi everyone, this is Charm again and welcome back to my channel where we talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and adulting how-tos. So I have a video on my complete personal finance system around 2 years ago, and I shared there all my bank accounts, my debit cards, my credit cards, checkbooks, how I budget, and everything else in between. So if you guys want to check that out, then I will link it up here. But today we will be talking about how I budget specifically. So from my planner, my spreadsheets, and my apps, this video is all about how I track and manage my personal finances. So with all of that said, let's start the video. So how I want to share this to you guys is from micro, meaning my daily expenses, down to the macros or the big picture of my entire personal finance system. So before I start, I want to tell you guys that I will be linking a free template down below wherein you can make a copy of your own spreadsheet. So I will not make it editable for everyone because everyone would just be editing and everyone would be overlapping the data in the spreadsheet. So make sure to either download or make a copy. Okay, so that budget template will include one for personal, and I will be talking more about this in a bit, but I also included 2 for business, 1 for like an overview, and 1 for like a balance sheet. And then lastly, I will include also a net worth template over there. So that's new. I just made that. I didn't really share my net worth tracker before because I was really new at it. But now I feel like I've refined it a little bit for you guys. But of course, you can edit it and refine it however you want once you've downloaded your own copy. Okay, so first thing is first, my daily expenses. What I used to do was to write it down in my planner, and I felt like that really helped me start with this journey. Using an app on the get-go really wasn't for me. So I found that creatives and people who are just really not used to using their phone for like productivity stuff, using a physical planner really helps. So of course, what I would recommend for this year is my Ready2Adult planner. I'll be talking more about that in a bit. But basically what I do right now is to use my monefy app. So I've talked about monefy for around 2 years in my channel already. This is not sponsored, although if monefy, if you're listening, hi. But basically, I set an alarm in my phone every 9 p.m. and that will prompt me to check my monefy app and input all my expenses for that day. So this was not planned, but it's 9 p.m. so I have to monefy it, please. So that means I have to open my app and think about what I've spent today. So usually it takes less than 5 minutes, maybe even not at all. So like today I didn't really spend on anything. I was just home working. So normally what I would do is I would just input what I've spent that day. I love this app because it's so convenient, it's so easy to use. It's just plus or minus. So minus is for when you spend on something and plus is when you have income coming into your system. So if you can see here, it also makes it into a pie chart already, so I know where I've been spending my money. But yeah, it really depends on you and what works for you. So if you feel like monefy didn't really work for you, I have reviewed over 20 budgeting apps, free budgeting apps. I made a video about it as well, so I will just link that up here. Okay, so after logging in my daily expenses through the monefy app, I then check my spreadsheets or my Google Sheets around 2 or 3 times a month to input the daily expenses. Okay, so this might not make sense for you guys, but let me share my screen so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so for the 3rd year in a row, this is what I've been doing. I list down what I have on the app and just transfer it here. It's very simple. I just put the date, a description, the amount, and then the mode of how I paid that item. So the reason for this is that, one, I can easily link it to my data when I do my annual budget overview. I'll share that next. And two, it really makes me sit down and analyze my spending habits, where my money went. So these are just some things that I get to ponder and like think about my expenses talaga and analyze them. So I really like this. It might seem a little bit redundant. Of course, you can skip this step and go ahead and log in your monthly expenses directly to the annual already, because again, monefy already categorizes everything for you. But yeah, I added this little step because wala lang, gusto ko lang. But yeah, you don't have to be as extra as me when it comes to that. So I want to give you guys an example of what I do. So for example, I listed some here, and what I do is I go to my 2022 tab and I see that there's a lot of gifts here. So let's do that. I go to gifts for January. I do the equal sign. I go back to my daily expenses and just start clicking and then adding the plus sign and then clicking on another item and then adding the plus sign and then clicking on another item. And yeah, you guys understand. So that this formula appears in my 2022 overview. So I find this really helpful because if I just see the big numbers, sometimes I think about, okay, why is that so big? And I don't want to keep on opening the app pa, diba? It's so much more convenient for me that I can just double click this and go to my daily expenses and I'll see there immediately what I've spent it on. Alright, so after that, I just make these red. Okay, so let me just quickly continue what I placed here. My contact solution goes to for eating out. May eating out pa isa dito. And then put it there. That there. Yeah, basically that's it. All of these are already encoded, so I just make that red. If I complete this, everything would be computed for me already. So let's move on to my step number 3, and that is this annual overview. This is very straight to the point. This is the annual budget overview I've been using for 4 years in a row now, and I've shared this template before. I've updated it a little bit. I changed it a little bit for my personal use, because if you haven't seen, like, I have around 11 sources of income, and I didn't want to put that on the top. I wanted to focus on my expenses. So I first put my expenses on top, but I would recommend to put your income on top, your savings and investments, and then your expenses, following the income minus savings equals expenses formula. Of course, the more you get used to it, the more parang expert you are at your own personal finances. You can always change that. But yeah, so I have here my essentials and my lifestyle for my expenses. So essentials, things that we need for us to survive. So groceries, electricity, other utilities, gas, etc. And then for the lifestyle, this is the optional stuff. So traveling, eating out, shopping, miscellaneous cash expenses, like if you're giving tips or may mga bank fees, etc. Car maintenance or parking. And then gifts, so kasama nandito yung donations, gift for family and friends, mini and grams, so my pet budget, so my dogs, and then health, fitness, and beauty. So I have also here subscriptions. I'm so proud that because I did the no spend month last year, it's 1 year already since I unsubscribed to Spotify. So subscription ko lang is Netflix right now, and then shared plan din yan with friends, and then I have my installments. So right now I have my iPhone. So I got my new phone after 3+ years, and I'm currently paying for installment for that. And then here I have a little area for Ready2Adult expenses. Ready2Adult is a separate business, but right now it's kind of still integrated with my whole personal finance. I plan to separate it in the future, but this is currently working for me right now. So it's also expensive to maintain a channel. So we spend on subscriptions, equipment, staffs na din, gifting, like when I do giveaways and stuff like that. that. But yeah, that's basically my expenses. Now, moving on to my insurances, tapos yung investments. So, insurances. So, I currently have 4 premiums that I'll be paying for a couple more years. And if you guys want to know all my insurances, I will link that video up here. And after that is my investments. For my investments, I have my stocks, my crypto, my funds, my REIT, my G-Invest. Speaking of, I also do a future video on my G-Invest. Almost 1 year na ako doon. So, make sure to watch out for that. Subscribe to my channel para ma-notify ka when that video comes up. But yeah, then my bank accounts are also here. So, every time I put money in my bank accounts, I just put them here. And lastly is my income. I just put that there. And I don't input too many things as compared to my expenses kasi for my income. So, I put that down lang. And then, because I have also sa baba projections, these are the projected income expenses that I will have this year. So, parang estimate ko lang on what my targets are so that I know that I will be able to afford everything that I have to spend this year. This is how I come up with the targets of how much I should be earning. It's because of these projections that I have. Okay, so yeah, that is my annual financial overview. And then step number 4 is my net worth. So, let's open the tab right now. So, I try to update my net worth every month, but sometimes I really don't get to do it because I have to sit down and, log into all my accounts and everything to check the balances. But I do keep track of them every quarter. So, parang naka-batch to every quarter din the template that I gave you guys. So, yeah, it's very simple lang yung net worth tracker. Mas maganda pa yung sa inyo. Hindi ko na na-update yung sa akin. This is an example of what I made. Feel free to change the data here. But basically, there's a summary on the top portion wherein you can just see an overview of your assets, liabilities, and then what your net worth is. It's highlighted in orange. And then here sa baba, naka-green sa side yung assets, and then it's divided into cash investments, or parang liquid investments. So that includes stocks, mutual funds, cryptocurrency, and other similar things like that. And then receivables, if may mga utang pa yung clients inyo, if may mga utang pa your friends, your family, or you have expected income coming in, then that's there. And then lastly is the properties and jewelries. So there are gonna be people who don't really count their primary residence or their car as assets. I don't count it as liquid assets, but I do count them as assets pa rin, because if you choose to sell, for example, your car, you can always use that money to buy your next car. So, may value pa rin siya. So, I include that here. And then, my total assets lang here. And for the liabilities, it's your credit cards and your loans. You can add here more liabilities if you have, but I think these are the 2 main categories. Of course, your credit card balances as well. So, I have here some quarterly charts and then just a very simple graph for the net worth progress. So, I'm not really an expert on spreadsheets and mga graph, ganyan. So, pagpasensyahan nyo na yung parang elementary graphs ko dito. You can always improve it however you like. And then, may notes lang ako dito on what you should not edit para hindi magulo yung formula in case you're not very familiar with formulas. And then, for cars, I do put a 0.005% monthly depreciation. Okay, now let's talk about my step number 5, which is the parang macro talaga and the overview of all my personal finances, all my goal setting and stuff like that. And that's where planner came in. So before, I use Starbucks planner, but right now, I have the Let's Adult planner. So it comes with a band as well. And I'm so excited to share to you guys that this is finally available on Shopee. So if you guys want to buy it, it's 549 pesos. It's a book and planner 2-in-1. So you guys can buy that there. I'll share more videos about this in the future. But right now, I want to share to you guys my goals page. So I recently did a goals update video and I shared to you guys what my 2022 goals are. So for me, the best pa rin talaga to put it in writing and somewhere that you can see all the time. Another suggestion, if you guys don't want a planner, is Notion. I've been loving Notion din, but iba talaga yung feeling that I get to check off or to highlight or to just see my goals in paper and see my progress like this. So I have some trackers here and I have my goals here. So I also added savings log to this planner, and what that basically is like a meter of how far you are from your goals. So there are 6 spaces here. You can have it as your annual goal, or you can even use this for your sinking funds for your smaller goals. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then may mga small lines lang siya wherein every time you finish a line, you can just highlight it. So depende na lang talaga how much you want a bar to mean. So for example, this one, hindi ko pa na-achieve to, but like almost na, so let's just put it at that. So it's so satisfying to see this fill up. So I want to show you guys then what my old meter looked like. So ganyan lang siya, and you just fill it up, and it's so satisfying to see it climb. And I also put a bills tracker here in the planner, and it's really just somewhere that you can keep track of how your bills have been going up and down. So my favorite use for this is, for example, for our electricity bill, Veco here in Cebu. I really just see the graph go up and down. So there's a space for a graph then, and you can also use this for the up and downs of the usage of your credit cards. And I also have an investment tracker here. So in my spreadsheets kasi, parang it's already the total amount yung investments ko that month. But if I put multiple times a month or where specifically I put it, I want din kasi one place to look at it, and I just found that I wanted to write it more. Again, it's really about that parang satisfying feeling, and this really just is parang how I make saving and investing more fun. Okay, so meron pa pala. Lastly here, every month I put an income and expenses table for you guys, so you can choose to use this as well. Yeah, if you guys are interested with the Let's Adult planner, then you can go ahead and purchase it on Shopee. I'm very proud to put this out, you guys. 2 years of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears talaga to. And grabe yung mga delays. And I really hope that you guys can utilize it and it would help you out with your personal finances. So yeah, that's it for our video for today. If you guys again want to get a copy of the templates, the spreadsheets, you can go ahead and check the description for the link. It's a free template. Just make a copy or download it. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. You got to learn from it. Make sure to share this with your friends and families so that we can all be financially savvy and we can get a hold of our personal finances, because we won't let our finances bully us. Dapat tayo yung in control. If you like this video, then please hit the thumbs up. It really does help out my channel a lot. And of course, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload another video. And again, I know that adulting can be hard, but personal finances doesn't have to be. That's why I make these videos for you guys. That's why I made this book and planner for you guys. And again, this is Charm, and I will see you in my next video. It's Charm again from Ready2Adult Ph. I know. That should be good.